promised you more on cats, and here it is. We're going to look at the Matt Wellsby whiskers compared to a Happy Tails tomcat compared to a braided leathers cat. Okay, so let's start with the braided leather cat. I'm going to throw these cats at the camera, then I'm going to throw them at a target. I want you to do two things for me. Observe the tails and how easy the tails are to keep together. You want the 9 tails to be able to stay together in a nice pattern. And listen carefully to the whip or the cat going through the air at the amount of air it catches. The amount of air it catches is going to give you a real good idea on how easily that cat's going to sail and how that cat's going to be finished, whether it's going to finish thuddy or whether it's going to finish stingy or give you a little more variation for finesse. So we'll start with a braided leather, and I'm just going to throw a figure 8 at the camera, and you can see his tails stay together nicely. It feels extremely well balanced. It's making a swoosh sound as it goes through the air. So the tail, these are 5mm tails, depends on how you measure them, between 4 and 5mm stranding for making the tail, 4 strands per tail, 9 tails. It's making a swoosh as it goes through the air. And that swoosh translates to a thuddier cat. I feel like it's thuddier than some of the other cats I have. I can tell you though, everyone that stood for that cat has loved that cat. Okay, very much. So the Matt Wellsby cat is a heavier shot load. The heavier shot load logically is going to say it's going to have more punch when it's thrown. It's also going to wear your arm out quicker. So you can hear that. It's not as loud as swoosh, but you can almost feel the energy from the shot as this cat finishes. It's almost like hitting somebody with a blackjack from 4 foot away, because this cat's a little bit longer than the other cats. The other 2 cats are 3 foot long, 18-inch thong, 18-inch tails. This is about 3.5 foot long and 3.5 foot long tails. It's more, a little bit longer cat. You can hear the heaviness of the finish of that cat. It's a very nice cat. Getting the arm's getting a little mileage on it. I don't throw that cat as often in the dungeon because of the weight of the shot bag. This Happy Tails cat, made by John, has 3mm stranding. Believe it or not, going from a 5 or 4mm strand to a 3mm strand makes an incredible amount of difference. You can tell the difference in a Happy Tail cat going through the air and in either of those other 2 cats I threw, and you're about to find out. Much lighter swoosh. It's not catching as much air, and it literally sails through the air, so I can do a lot more with this cat without wearing my arm out. It will allow me to vary the sensations more because it's not making that swoosh and ending with a thud. I can feather with the tassels. I can move in and make it thuddier with the crown knot. So I'm a big Happy Tails cat fan, the tomcat. If you have an opportunity to acquire a tomcat from Happy Tails, in the era that John was platting them for them, then you should not walk away from that cat. 5mm, 4mm, 3mm stranding, they're all going to throw different. They're all going to have a little bit different sensation when they land. One of the differences between the 5mm and the 4mm I threw is, believe it or not, the 5mm is going to end up thuddier with less punch than the 4mm because the shot bag in this one's so much heavier. This is going to be lighter. It's not going to wear my arm out. It's going to let me throw and have a thuddy result. And then I can shift from the 5mm to a 3mm, and this one's just going to sail. And again, you're going to have a different sensation. The 4mm, because of the heaviness of the shot bag, it really ends with a punch. Okay, and that's a nice punch, but the weight of this whip is going to wear the arm out. I'm not a real big guy. I don't like do a lot of weightlifting in the gym. Maybe somebody that goes to the gym regularly and works out is not going to have trouble throwing this cat. I will throw it for a few minutes, but I tend to try not to throw it too much, because once your arm's tired, then when you move to single tail, the tiredness definitely affects your ability to control accurately a single tail. But that's the deep dive into cats. If you own a cat that's different than the ones I've shown, be sure and share that in the comments. Join my patron group. Send me some photos of your cat, and I'll share that information with the rest of my patrons, and we'll get some comments going and some interest in cat and nine tails. As always, thanks for watching Whips in the Dungeon.